The holiday season can intensify emotions, and that includes feelings of grief. One hospice care volunteer is far too familiar with those emotions that families can go through, but says his work introduced him to dozens of people who have impacted his life. Kathryn Merk shows us his way of turning what were once family's painful goodbyes into a lasting Christmas tradition.
It's Christmas time at Alan Pepple's home on Bittersweet Court.
The old guy in the corner with the ornaments.
Alan is a hospice care volunteer. Despite the noise, he says this drum playing gets an unexpected response from patients.
It usually puts them to sleep.
And if you can still hear, he will tell you about some of the people he has met over the years.
This is my patient, Dixie.
And how much they've meant to him.
She's my best, I tell you. She's always coming up with something.
During this season, he and his wife Susan are reminded of the patients who will miss the holidays.
It just shows you how many people in the last number of years have just, had their last breath.
His passion for taking care of people started 20 years ago because of a death in his own family.
After his mom died, he really got into, this was his calling, to be in hospice.
Learning from her experience for 3 years taking care of her, and finally having to bring a hospice in, I see the good that they did.
2 decades ago, Alan decided to go to the workspace in his basement.
I sit here in this chair,
make an ornament, and write down the names of those who impacted him.
Put the wire on there.
He found a way to make sure they were remembered by adding them to his Christmas tree in the front yard.
When you've got the lights on and everything's sparkling and everything, you don't even know it's a Charlie Brown tree. That was one of my first guys.
And one by one, he's added more ornaments for the people he eventually called friends.
I try to remember every one of them.
Today, there's 281 pieces.
There isn't one that I haven't been close to.
He calls it the Tree of Remembrance.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
He says it's perhaps the most important time of year to show there's a place on this corner for what he shared with these names.
Hustle and bustle of Christmas and presents and everything, I reflect back on them. Remember the experiences I had with them and, the good times we had.
While his Charlie Brown tree represents heartbreaking moments for families, it's symbolizing something that Alan believes is evergreen.
If you've made a difference in somebody's life in their final stages, that's what's rewarding to me, and that's what drives me to keep going and going.
It's only fitting there's a memorial for those who've died that says so much about life here on Bittersweet Court.
You kind of lose track of everybody, and this brings me back to reality. Kind of set you back and say, hey, what's important in life?